A sweet little secret. Alright, my lovely people. Let's talk about something absolutely brilliant. Have you ever heard of a plant that's super sweet but has 0 calories? Well, let me introduce you to Stevia. It's a fantastic little green plant, and its proper name is Stevia rebaudiana. This isn't some newfangled thing made in a lab. It's a completely natural sweetener that comes straight from the earth. The leaves of this plant are packed with a sweetness that is hundreds of times stronger than your regular white sugar. It's a proper game changer, believe me. You can get all that lovely sweet taste without any of the naughty bits. So why are people going bonkers for stevia? It's simple, really. Many of us are trying to cut down on sugar, aren't we? Too much sugar isn't great for our bodies, we all know that. Stevia gives us a brilliant alternative. Because it has no calories and doesn't raise your blood sugar levels, it's a fantastic choice for people who need to watch their sugar intake. It lets you sweeten your tea, your breakfast, or even your baking without any of the worry. It's all about having that choice, and stevia gives us a wonderful, natural one. It's a little bit of magic from a leaf. Imagine a world where you can enjoy a sweet treat and it's actually coming from a green leaf. That's the stevia revolution, my friends. This plant has been used for centuries in places like Paraguay and Brazil, where it originally comes from. The local people there knew about its sweet secret long before we did. They would chew on the leaves for a sweet kick or use them to sweeten their drinks. Now, the rest of the world is catching on to this amazing natural gift. It's about getting back to basics and using what nature provides. Puka. The best part is that you only need a tiny bit. Because it's so much sweeter than sugar, a little pinch goes a very long way. If a recipe asks for a whole cup of sugar, you might only need a teaspoon of pure stevia powder. It's incredible how powerful the sweetness from these leaves can be. This means a small stevia plant in your garden or a small bag from the shop can last you for ages. It's economical, it's natural, and it's a brilliant way to keep things sweet and healthy. What's not to love about that? Absolutely nothing, that's what. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty. How do we grow this gorgeous plant? Stevia is a bit of a sun worshipper, so it loves a warm and sunny climate. Think of a place that gets lots of sunshine and doesn't get too cold or frosty. It needs a long growing season with plenty of bright days to really develop that amazing sweetness in its leaves. It's a subtropical plant, so it thrives in conditions that are consistently warm. If you live somewhere with chilly winters, you can still grow it in a pot and bring it inside when the temperature drops. A sunny windowsill would be just perfect for it. When it comes to the soil, stevia isn't too fussy, but it does have its preferences, just like us. It likes soil that drains well, meaning the water doesn't hang around and make its roots soggy. Think sandy or loamy soil, the kind that feels a bit crumbly in your hands. Heavy, clay-like soil that holds onto water for too long is a big no-no for stevia. It can lead to root rot, and nobody wants that. The plant also prefers a soil that's slightly acidic. Getting the soil right is like making a good base for a sauce. It makes everything that comes after so much better. So, how do you plant it? Here's a top tip. Growing stevia from seeds can be a bit tricky. The seeds are tiny and not all of them will sprout into strong plants. It can be a real waiting game. That's why most farmers and gardeners do it differently. They use something called stem cuttings. This means they take a small piece of a healthy grown-up stevia plant and plant that instead. This little piece will grow roots and turn into a whole new plant. It's a much faster and more reliable way to get going. It's like getting a head start in the race. Another clever method, especially for big farms, is called tissue culture. This sounds a bit scientific, but it's a brilliant way to grow lots of perfect little plants. Scientists take a tiny piece of a super healthy stevia plant and grow it in a special gel in a lab. From that one tiny piece, they can create thousands of identical disease-free baby plants. This ensures that every plant is strong and has the potential to be incredibly sweet. It's a fantastic way to guarantee a quality harvest right from the very beginning. Proper job. Just like a happy holidaymaker, stevia absolutely loves the sun. It needs at least 6 hours of direct sunlight every single day to be truly happy and productive. The sun is like its power source. It uses all that lovely light to create energy through a process called photosynthesis, and this energy helps it make those super sweet compounds in its leaves. The more sun it gets, the sweeter the leaves will become. So, if you're planting it in your garden, pick the sunniest spot you can find. A south-facing location is usually a winner. A happy, sun-kissed plant is a sweet plant. Now let's talk about watering. This is super important. Stevia likes its soil to be consistently moist, but it really hates having wet feet. This means you should water it regularly, but don't let it sit in a puddle. Too much water is its worst enemy and can cause its roots to rot away. The best approach is to check the soil with your finger. If the top inch feels dry, it's time to give it a drink. Water it at the base of the plant, letting the water soak deep into the soil. Let it dry out a little bit between waterings. It's all about finding that happy balance. Think of it like making the perfect cup of tea. You wouldn't want it too weak or too strong, would you? It has to be just right. Watering stevia is exactly the same. During very hot and dry weather, you might need to water it every day, especially if it's in a pot, as pots can dry out quickly. But on cooler, cloudier days, you can water it less often. The key is to pay attention to your plant and what it needs. It will tell you. If the leaves start to look a bit droopy, it's probably thirsty. Give it a good drink, and it should perk right back up. One more thing to remember is that stevia plants have quite shallow roots. This means they can dry out faster than plants with deep roots that can search for water further down in the ground. Putting a layer of mulch, like wood chips or straw, on top of the soil around the plant can be a massive help. The mulch acts like a blanket, keeping the soil cool and stopping the water from evaporating too quickly in the sun. This means you won't have to water as often, and the plant's roots will stay happy and moist. Happy days. Right then, the best part. After all that love and care, it's time to harvest those lovely sweet leaves. Timing is everything here, my friends. You want to pick the leaves when they are at their absolute sweetest. The best time to do this is right before the plant starts to produce its tiny white flowers. When the plant is getting ready to flower, it puts all its energy into making the leaves as sweet as possible. This usually happens in the late summer or early autumn, when the days are still long and sunny, but getting a little shorter. It's the plant's big finale. When you're ready to harvest, the process is dead simple. You can just pick the individual leaves as you need them, especially if you just want a few for your morning tea. But for a bigger harvest, you can cut the entire stems. Use a clean, sharp pair of scissors or shears and cut the stems about 4 to 6 inches from the ground. Don't cut it all the way down to the soil. Leaving a good bit of the stem behind will encourage the plant to grow back, bushy and strong, so you can get another harvest later on. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Once you've cut your stems, you can hang them upside down in a warm, dry, and airy place to dry out. A garage or a shed would be perfect. You want to keep them out of direct sunlight as they dry, as this helps preserve their flavor and sweetness. After a week or two, the leaves will be crispy and dry. Then, you can easily crumble them off the stems. You can use the crumbled leaves just as they are, or you can grind them into a fine powder using a coffee grinder or a blender. Store your homemade stevia powder in an airtight jar, and it's ready whenever you need a sweet fix. The brilliant thing about the stevia plant is that it's so generous. In a good long-growing season, you can often harvest from the same plant 2, 3, or even more times. After your first harvest, the plant will regrow, and in a couple of months, it will be ready for another trim. This makes it an incredibly rewarding plant to grow. It's a fantastic, sustainable way to have a natural, zero-calorie sweetener right at your fingertips. It's a sweet revolution happening right in your back garden. How lovely is that?